Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball. With me as always is ErnieOrange. We had a technical difficulty last week and the week before we were off because we were off on a little vacation. But we're back. We're totally talking about everything baseball, playoffs, wild cards, teams that are kind of suffering right now. But before we get started with our show, we want to make sure and how Ernie is doing out there. What's up, man? How's everything over there, dude?
What's going on, everybody? Just excited to be back talking baseball with you guys. We're down to the final stretch of the month. 2 weeks to go, and playoff season is here. I just want to say I'm a bit bummed out right now. Just realized that I lost two of my fantasy baseball championships. We were supposed to be champs, but we fell short this year. Second place will do, I guess. I mean, we're still taking some money, Carlos, right? We got to
Yeah.
celebrate somehow.
Yeah, dude. Look, when you make it all the way to the finals and you get a little bit of money back, you get money to go out, go eat, or even try to see if you can hold on to that money for next year and pay your due to get in next year. But that's dope,
Definitely,
dude.
definitely.
You did good, man. You got second place on both sides. You did what is it? You did what is it? The road? No, not rotary. What is it called? The fantasy we played in. It was points, and
Well,
the other one was categories.
categories.
Is it the first time you play categories?
It was the first time, and it was definitely tricky at first, but I got the hang of it in the playoffs, and I was able to finally mix and match my players, figure what players needed to give me the most points in starting categories. So it was working out just fine. But this week, my players decided just not to show up. If you want to talk about Kyle Tucker, he wants to sit in the IL when it really matters. Just want to throw that out there. Ryan
Yeah,
Pepio feeling a little bit fatigued and says his arm hurts a little bit. So I might as well just not play this week. Stuff like that, towards the end of the season, it always hurts a lot of teams. But,
yeah,
it happens, part of the game.
true. And then you know what? There's a lot of owners that decide to do it to stop at the first week, second week of September instead of going all the way to the end of the season. Why? Because sometimes when you go all the way to the end of the season, these players or teams clinch and they decide to sit their best players on the bench, and that suffers for fantasy owners. So that's good that they did this the way they did it with our fantasy, which we stopped the second week. I mean, unfortunate you had some pitchers and some hitters that had to, sit the bench. You have the Phillies, you have the Brewers that already clinched, and those are the only two teams so far that's done it. But moving forward, I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing everybody in. But there's a big, big, big dilemma with the wild card right now, National League and American League, and let's get into it, dude. Let's go talk. Let's talk about the AL wild card. Oh, what happened here? Hold on. What happened? Hold on. What's this? What's this? The format's all jacked up. We haven't got on 2 weeks. There we go. Better.
Yes, yes, yes. We got messed.
All right, cool. All right,
You
we
feeling a
got
little bit
the.
rusty out there, Carlos? All right,
I
man.
am a little rusty, dude. It's just I'm trying to get all the slides together and have everything going, dude. So all right, we got the Yankees on top. We got the Red Sox. They won today. We have the Houston Astros, which they flip flop with the Mariners, which is kind of crazy to me. You have the Mariners winning the division, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But let's talk about the wild card first, and then we got the Texas Rangers, the Cleveland Guardians still have a chance, if you can believe it, and of course the Kansas City Royals, which is 6 games. I think that one's a little bit more of a far reach, but anything could happen. Do you think this wild card slots right now is going to stay the same way?
Oh man, it's hard to tell. As much as I thought 2 weeks ago this was going to be the set wild card, things have fluxed around lately, and things just could change at any moment. Look at these Rangers team. They're 2 games back of the worst team all year round offensively, and somehow they're managing to be coming closer to this wild card spot. This Astros team has done great things all year with what they have, but the injuries just continue to pile on them, and that's a huge concern for me right now. With this Astros team, with Jose Altuve going to the IL with a toe injury, and not only
Yeah,
that, Luis Garcia, a guy that you got back from Tommy John, also dealing with more injuries with the forearm issue. The
yeah,
concerns just continue to worry me all the time. Bruce Bochy is a manager that's been there in the past, has been a winner, and knows what to do with this team already. And I have a huge concern for this Astros team, if you ask me. The way they've been slipping in their standings, I'm not sure if they could go deep into the playoffs anyway. And with a Rangers hot team like that, what we saw in 2023 potentially could make some noise and jump into that final spot.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys saw Snap on there. He says the champion's here. Yeah, I don't know if you want to congratulate him right now, Ernie. I mean, you can go ahead and do that. If you don't, you could just say next year, sucker. I got you.
I mean, you got to give it up to Snap. He is the back-to-back champ. You got to give credit where credit is due. Let's just say this guy's impossible to beat in the finals. This guy will sneak up all these players from out of under his sleeve, and you're like, how does this guy continue to have pitchers in his roster? The
Yeah,
Snap, the champ. Be careful, man, because everybody's coming for you next year.
that's
There's no
true.
way we're letting you have a three-peat.
Nah, they need to change up some rules because these guys already know this. That's like in the back of their hand, so they got to change the rules up like they do every other leagues, man. So we'll talk about that. But Tony, congratulations on that, man. That's really cool. I think this is the third time you win the league. So congratulations. All right, we got a question here. 10 more games. No, I mean there's 13 games left of the season. These 13 games are gonna be really crazy down the road, down the stretch. We have a couple of divisions that are still not won. We already said that the Phillies and Brewers already won their divisions, and we're talking about the wild card right now, the AL wild card. And you just said that it did flip flop a little bit. Do you see the Yankees moving up, possibly beating the Blue Jays and winning the East Division, and not away from the wild card? Actually,
Yeah, I mean, that's totally right. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, we had Jamal, special guest here. The Yankees were playing so horrible that we were talking about potentially even firing the manager, Aaron Boone. And ever since August 24th, this Yankee team has been red hot. They're finally not depending on Judge. They're finally hitting in all cylinders. You got Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger stepping up, and finally some big hit time hits for them. The pitching has been getting some great quality starts. The bullpen has finally settled down. And the defense is just doing bare minimum, but it's doing better than it once was. And that's all the Yankees really need in order to make a deep run into this playoffs. And it's totally possible that this Blue Jays team could slip out. The reason why is that this Blue Jays team continues to struggle with their bullpen, and they cannot seem to figure it out. Jeff Hoffman was the top signing in the free agency, has just not delivered like they were expecting from him.
yeah.
The starters are just doing okay, but there's not that sense of urgency that I see like with this Yankee team right now. And I think this Yankee team has something to prove. Aaron Boone is fighting for his job right now, and Brian Cashman also is. So they better deliver because this AO is wide open, and this is the Yankees' shot to make it again to the World Series. There's no better shot than this year again in the American League. There's just not that contender that's really scary out there.
Dude, I see the Yankees and I see them, and you just said it. When we had Jamal here, we were talking about what direction is the Yankees going. What, because they weren't playing as good as they are now. Of course, we saw a lot of things happen to the Yankees because they were playing teams that were playing under 500. And those are the teams you need to go ahead and start beating up. Because if you don't beat the teams that are under 500, you play the teams that are above 500. Now you're in deep trouble if you can't win those series. They swept up. They had a 8 games winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. And then now they play the Red Sox. They play the Houston Astros, and they won the series against those. And those are important series for the Yankees. Now, are they for real? I think they are, dude. They're here to stay. Chas Chisholm has been coming out saying that they're ready to roll, that they're going to go deep into the playoffs, possibly win the whole thing. So when you have players that are confident and talking amongst each other in that clubhouse, it brings a lot in them. And I think, to be honest, I think they're the best team in the American League, man. And I'm not taking away anything from the Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Blue Jays, and they're playing good ball as well. But when you have that camaraderie and you have so much people following your team, and you're clicking at the right cylinders at the right time, I think it's possible that they could maybe win the division. And let's look at the division in the East. You have Toronto on top. It's 4 games, by the way. They lost it. The Yankees lost today, and then you have the Yankees, and then you have the Red Sox. 5 games. I think it's a little stretch in these last 13 games. I don't know if they'll be able to make up some ground with that, but the Yankees still have a chance to win that division. Do you see that happening this year?
Yeah, I mean, I still totally see the Yankees coming on top. I feel like the Blue Jays took a step back and finally kind of just relaxed a little bit. And I feel like this Yankee team, like I was just mentioning, they're desperate, they're hungry, they have a lot to prove. New Yorkers want them to be in the mix, and they better because, or else there's going to be a lot of changes in that front office coming this next upcoming season. Now, this Yankee team has been delivering based on Max Free, Carlos Rodon, and Luis Hill have been their top 3 pitchers going into it this postseason. They will have the experience to go into deep runs. And now with that bullpen they got in the trade deadline, it's more than possible to go into deep runs. You know, Camilo Doval David Bernard, Fernando Cruz, and then you got Devin Williams, Luke Weaver. Those guys could knock it out the park. I mean, they got the 6, 7, 8, 9 guys there to deliver some zeros, and that's a deep rotation and a deep bullpen to go deep.
Yeah, that is. And what's crazy is that they are clicking. They're doing it when they need to. Yeah, let's move on, man. Wait, before we move, do you see the Toronto Blue Jays being the best team, the Detroit Tigers, or are there other teams that are out there for you from the American League? And we haven't gone to the West yet, but I wanted to ask you on this side of the spectrum, meaning this side of the divisions.
The Tigers were obviously one of the best teams all year from the American League, but somehow something's up with this team. I'm not sure if I could trust them going to a deep playoff run. I think Tarek Skubal's injury this week with that rib discomfort, what's a huge concern for me. Jack Flaherty has kind of been having a bad second half into the season. The offensive numbers from these guys have kind of slowed down. It feels like I'm not seeing Javi Baez out there no more. Spencer Torkelson has died out a little bit. And Riley Green has been their only star power guy there. So I'm not sure if I could really trust them having a deep run like that, and the lack of experience. I know they do have a manager like AJ Hinch that could push them to the next level. Now, I'm just not sure if they are ready to take that next leap yet. Now, the Red Sox, it was a team that was surging in the right direction ever since they traded Rafael Devers. And somehow, ever since the loss of Roman Anthony to that injury, the team has just not looked the same offensively. Obviously, today they scored 6 runs on the Yankees in the first couple innings, but other than that, the team has just finally kind of like been flat lately. The pitching has not been it's been all year. Dustin May doesn't look good in the Red Sox uniform. They got rid of Walker Buehler. They're depending on rookies like Peyton Toll. And obviously their only answer for that pitching rotation is Garrett Crochet right now. I feel like he's their top guy, and Chapman. Other than that, I feel like I'm concerned with their other pitchers right now. And I don't know if they are the answer to go deep.
Dude, so Roman Anthony's not coming back, all this season basically, but he potentially could be ready for the playoffs, and I think he's going to come back at the right time. But does he need some bats or bats before he hits the playoffs? Because playoffs is a different beast. We all know that. We all know that when playoffs start, these teams change their mentality. They change their strategies on how to play and how to beat the opposing team. The Red Sox are going to go and I don't think they're going to be the home team if they make the playoffs, because you have the Yankees being number 4, right? And then you have the Red Sox. So yeah, they're not going to be the home team. They have to go out to the road. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for them, dude. They have to make up some ground. I don't see it. I don't see them, winning the division. And also, I think they stay in the same spot. So, yeah.
I mean, overall, they're having a great year for having to trade Rafael Devers in the middle of the season. You got to give them.
They needed to, though. They needed to do that.
It changed the culture in the locker room. Trevor Story, Alex Bregman were finally able to find themselves and deliver some great offensive numbers. Jarren Duran has done okay this year. Not his best season, but he's still like a leader in the clubhouse that they need with Roman Anthony coming up. And
it's promising. So we can't wait for playoffs. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the next one, the AL West. This one is flopping from the Seattle Mariners, from the Houston Astros. And a lot of people are saying that the Houston Astros have so many injuries. That's why they're there. And that's why they're not, taking off with the division. But you can't fall asleep on these Mariners, because these Mariners have great pitching. And we've been talking about this. And you've been one of the guys I've been saying, like, the Mariners are going to be a tough team if they make it to playoffs. This is a chance. Now they went and got Eugenio Suarez on their lineup. So this is the big trade we were talking about at one of our episodes in the season. We said that they need to go and get hitting, and they did. So are they for real? Are they going to win the division, or are they going to go in the wild card?
Yeah, there's no way they're looking back. This is a star-studded team. I got to give props to Jerry Dipoto. I think he went all out this trade deadline. He delivered. He said, we want to make the playoffs. We want to go on a deep run. And he did what he promised, something something great for this Seattle Mariners fans base, because that star-studded team is dangerous. Just this weekend against the Angels, I know it's the Angels. We're not playing great no more, but George Kirby having 14 strikeouts, Brian Wu with 14 Ks, Luis Castillo back to his old form. And then you still got, they're so loaded, dude. Offensively,
I know it's hard for you.
Either
I know
Julio's
it's really hard for
you,
dude. I know it's really hard for you to say that, because it
really is.
Angels. Yeah.
It really is. But every time they step up to plate, I'm like, they have no chance against these guys, man. They're locked in right now. Jamal saying that Jorge Polanco is having a great year as well. They could beat you anyway. Either Jorge Polanco, Josh Naylor, Suarez, Randy, or Rosarena, or Julio Rodriguez. You name it. You pick your poison. They're going to get you some way. And right now they're on a 9-game winning streak. They were playing a bit flat offensively. They couldn't get it together a couple weeks ago, but it looks like they're heading in the right direction, and they're not looking back. Sorry, Astros. As much as you had that little rain a little bit, there's no way this Mariners is going to let it slip by this time for them.
Nah, and they're looking at ahead of their schedule is not as bad as let's take a look at it. Actually, I want to take a look at the schedule between either the Mariners. Let's look at the Mariners first, because I know the Mariners have a lot more to lose than the Astros. Because why? Because the Astros went all in. I mean, the Mariners went all in, dude. Like you just said. So if they don't do anything to where they win anything, they win the division or they win the AL. Championship, then they did it for nothing, right? And that's what a lot of these teams it looks like they're doing. But I think the Mariners' chance to win is now, and they did it. Give me a chance to bring up the schedule.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this upcoming week they got the Royals coming up, and then they're going to Houston for a 3-game series for the next weekend. That's a crucial one, and I think the Mariners are going to prove that they are the better team in the AL West and will overtake that division going forward.
Where are they playing? Are they playing in Houston or are they playing in Seattle?
They're playing in Houston, which is a crucial matchup there.
Damn.
I'll still take my chances with the Mariners. Jamal's mentioning there. Framberg doesn't seem the same guy anymore. Lance McCullers, is he really that guy anymore? Besides Hunter Brown, I don't see much. Any other pitcher could do any type of damage right now to that Mariner offensive power. They're scary, man.
McCullers is injured too. He just got. I think he had a hand cramps or I forget what he had, but he's always injured, dude. McCullers has always been injured.
You have him in the IL, Spencer Arguetti in the IL. I mean, this Astro team is just banged up, guys. There's just no way. Jesus Sanchez has been a promising pickup over the trade deadline, but other than that, Jordan Alvarez, been also banged up all year. Jose Altuve now about to hit the IL. I don't see how they're going to potentially win this division. It was a good shot. You tried your best. Unfortunately, this is not your year. This is the best you could do, though.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one. You say the Mariners are going to win the division. I want to say the Rangers could possibly make that run and that push. They've been there before. But the thing is with the Rangers is sometimes they're hitting, sometimes they're not. Sometimes their pitching is good, sometimes it's not. So it's kind of hot and cold with the Rangers. And it's kind of hard for them to put on a winning streak. And I mean, but yeah. I'll just come out of left field and say they probably have a chance to win the wild card and eliminate the Astros from that wild card spot.
Wow, so, that would be a big one right there because I don't think no one saw that coming all year round. And who would have expected that with 10 games left into the season, the Rangers sneaking into the playoffs and knocking out their crosstown rival Houston Astros?
Yeah, that's a huge rivalry in Texas, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah, the Lone
I'm pretty sure you do. Rivalry. Yeah. All right, let's go into the NL wild card. We already have the Chicago Cubs on top. We have the San Diego Padres, which they haven't been playing all that great, but they're still up there. And then the New York Mets, they're still holding on by a thread on this last spot of the wild card. We go a little bit down. You got the San Francisco Giants, which they had a good run. From these last 15 games, they've won 10 out of these 15 games, which is kind of amazing. You have the Diamondbacks doing the same thing. They have won 9 out of those 15 games. And you have Cincinnati, which they can't put it together when they need to. They did win the series against the Padres, but they go home and they don't do anything else with it. So that's kind of sucks. And then you have the St. Louis Cardinals, 4 games. It seems like a lot of stretch because there's a lot of teams in front of them. For the Cardinals to make it to the playoffs, they need all these teams ahead of them to just go on the losing streak. And is it going to happen? I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, let's just start off talking about what the heck is going wrong with these New York Mets. They lost 8 in a row today. They really snuck one by. Pete Alonso saved the day with a walk-off home run. Offensively, this team is not hitting like they're supposed to. Besides Juan Soto, it seems like the whole team is struggling right now, given that they're the number 1 payroll in baseball, the highest payroll in baseball.
Yeah.
There is no reason why they should be struggling like this. It feels like they lost that momentum, that magic they had last year. It's not the same team. The team does not look as promising like it once did. They're pitching wise. Kodai Senga fell off the map. They sent him to AAA to find his form again. You have bringing up 3 young studs, hoping they could be the answer. I mean, this year was not supposed to be your year, in regardless. I mean, look at the pitching. They brought in Frankie Montas, was banged up
Yeah.
all year. Griffin Canning tore his ACL, which was having a promising first half of the year. And then Kodai Senga has been banged up, can't figure out his delivery. And then David Peterson, is he really that true ace that he's supposed to be? And then Sean Manaea also banged up. So those are 5
Yeah.
starters that were supposed to be the next big thing for this team to go deep into the playoffs. And it didn't work out for them. Now you bring in 3 young studs like Jonathan, Nolan McLean, and Brandon Sprout. Are they supposed to deliver what these other top higher paid pitchers are supposed to deliver? Is that fair for these young pitchers?
I mean, sometimes you just put in the fire and you have to perform, dude, and that's what's happening. We said that about the Red Sox this past time that they beat the Yankees, which was 2 weeks ago. And then when you put rookies out there, you expect from them to perform or to sink. And fortunately, sometimes you have to make sure that you have your rookies right, you have them ready to go, and you have them pumped. And this is just getting them ready to go into the playoffs. So I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but you have to do it sometimes, dude. You have to, because if these guys are going to be on top of your rotation for the years to come, you have to start somehow. You have to start somewhere, and what better way to do it than this year? Right now, they need help. We haven't talked about Juan Soto, how sneaky and quiet his numbers have been. He hit 440 home runs this year. Quiet, because no one's talking about him. Everybody's just talking about his contract, that he's not producing. His on base percentage is off the charts. He's always getting on base. People are not saying that. He's playing okay outfield. We all knew he's not going to be a top notch outfielder, right? But he's doing his thing out there. He's getting runners out on bases. And like Pete Alonso, he kind of fell off a little bit, dude. He hit a home run today to win the game, but he did fell off. And that magic that they had. I guess they had a 8-game winning streak not too long ago, and they were playing really good baseball. They were one of the hottest teams. Them and the Giants were playing good baseball, and the Rangers were playing good baseball. So
Right.
now they went into that 8-game losing streak. Now, what happened? So maybe this home run from Pete Alonso today will spark them up again. We'll get them in their winning ways. We'll get them into the wild card and win that last wild card spot. But you do have hungry teams like the Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they do have a series coming up. Either the Giants come on top in that series or the Arizona Diamondbacks come on top and they take over that last spot in the wild card. But we'll see what happens as it goes on. And this is what makes it fun, dude, when we have teams that are fighting for the last spot of the wild card, potentially going all the way to number 1 in the wild card. But is that going to happen? I think that's too many games ahead. The Cubs
No,
have that
that's
on
way.
lock. Yeah, they have it on lock. And I think the Padres have it on lock because
I
they're
do
5 games on top.
I do
Yeah.
believe that this final wildcard spot is going to fall to the last day of the season. It's going to come down to that last game. Game 162 is going to determine who gets that last spot. Now, this Mets team, just, like you said, with these young pitchers, the pressure continues to be on. Just this Friday, Jonathan was thrown out there against his former ace, Jacob deGrom. The pressure was on. Poor kid. I felt so bad for him. The pressure was on. He was sweating, gave up 6 runs in the first 2 innings, couldn't seem to get an out. And, fortunately had to go get sat down, and he felt bad for the kid because
Yeah.
he wants to deliver and do something special for his team, but he couldn't deliver. The pressure was too high for him. Now Nolan McLean has been a different story. He's looked very promising, has one of the lowest ERAs in Mets history for the first game started for a pitcher. He looks like he's that real deal, and that's good for them. They desperately need it, but offensively this team needs to pick it up. And that bullpen, please, Edwin Diaz. And, they have to get better results from him. It just hasn't worked out. Ryan Helsley, the closer from the Cardinals, has not worked out either. Cedric
No.
Mullins wasn't a great pickup either. So these trade deadline acquisitions are definitely hurting this this Mets team right now going forward, and it's not a good sign. Now, this Giants team, they had a great week. They had a promising game on Friday, the way they closed it out on Tanner Scott with a Patrick Bailey walk-off grand slam. Now, these last 2 games, you needed to win at least 1 game, win the series against the Dodgers if you wanted to make a deeper run.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that now you're going to have to come back this weekend, face 3 more games here in LA, and the matchup's not going to be any easier to come here in LA and win against your top rival.
And that's crazy because they threw out the best pitching against the Dodgers, and I thought the game that the Dodgers were going to win was against Verlander, not these other two guys. Bobby Ray pitched pretty good. It's just it seems like he couldn't control his pitches today, and that's where the Dodgers blew up on him. But yeah, I agree, dude. I think the Giants, if they want to make that push, they got to win this series against the Diamondbacks, and then head to LA for 4 games for them to stay alive. I think they need to win those 3 games, but it's not impossible. It's never impossible. The Dodgers haven't been playing all that great either. That's why we have them on here as well, because the division is not even won. It seems like these two teams have been struggling the last 10 games. They've been under 500 or playing 500 baseball, both of them. So it
Both
seems
teams.
like when the Dodgers lose, the Padres lose. The Dodgers get swept, the Padres get swept. So it's like we don't move from these 2.5, 1 game, 3 games. So it's crazy, dude. Do you see the Padres making a push to winning the division against the Dodgers?
It's hard for me to say that the Padres are going to finally make this move. They've had every single opportunity to take over, and they just don't want it. I'm not sure if they're just tired, they're burnt out. It's a long season. September's catching up to them. But unfortunately, I don't know. The pitching has just not been as spectacular like it once was in the first half of the season. And I'm not sure if I think they have enough offensive power to overtake this Dodgers team right now. Dodgers do have the easiest schedule remaining for the remaining of the season. I do give the Dodgers the edge right now, even with Tanner Scott closing games. I'll still say that the Dodgers have a shot to take the division. Now, the Padres, they could still do it. Let's not start giving up yet. It's only 2.5 games, and you just got to win out. And I bet you could win this division. It would be a great opportunity for this Padres team. Not only get home field advantage, but face an easier matchup team, in the playoffs. Why wouldn't you want that for yourself? So this Padres team has the talent, has the capability to do it. Now they got to deliver.
Yeah,
It's time. You've been wanting to win this division for years. This is your time. The Dodgers are not playing well. That bullpen is taxed. It has not been the same bullpen it once was last year, and they desperately need help in the bullpen. So this is the Padres' chance. They need to go for it. They need to play better. It's 13 games. Get your head right. Finish the season strong and make a deep playoff run for 2025.
yeah. Uh, with these last 12 games from the Padres, how many games do you need? Does the Padres need to win the division?
10 out of 12. You got
10
to
out
go
of
on a
12?
10-2 stretch. You got to win that division. There's no excuses. Your GM has done everything in his power to give you a winning culture. You have it. You have the talent. What's your excuse now? When
Yeah,
you see a Dodger team banged up the way it is this year, you got to make the most out of this opportunity, or else you're back to square one and losing again to the Dodgers in the playoffs. You don't want to
true.
see that.
True. Well, Tanner Scott has been that guy. I guess they've been putting in
Ugh.
every game. If you haven't seen any Dodger games and you haven't seen ESPN highlights, he's been giving everything up. But you can't blame Dave Roberts that he's putting them in. And this is why I kind of feel that some fans overreact when Dave Roberts puts them in. They went and got Tanner Scott and they gave him the big contract because he's a high leverage guy.
72
Only,
million.
yeah, the only way you're gonna get this guy to perform in high leverage uh, spots is if you put him in high leverage spots. If you put him in like games that don't count, he's not gonna regain his confidence. And I think this is where he has to continue to do that. And I think this is where the Dodgers are gonna suffer, and the Padres are gonna get a chance to move up. And if they don't take advantage, that's on the Padres, dude. Because the Dodgers are doing everything for the Padres for them to win the division. Why? Because Tanner Scott's not looking like he did last year, dude. So who could be another potential closer? Kopech came back already. He's already back. Tony's asking. So he is back. He pitched today. He looked pretty good. His fastball had a lot of movement. He was throwing 99. Even in San Francisco, because when you play in San Francisco, it's a little harder to throw the ball out there, and because all the freaking air and the climate out there, it changes. And then, of course, if you use different closers for the Dodgers, I just want to
Oof.
say this: you have Trinan, you have Vesia that's going to come back, that's going to be ready for the playoffs. Potential he can be a closer, right? And
Yep.
then there's a lot of players that you can use to
Let me
be a
just put
closer.
this. If Tanner Scott blows one more game, I'm sorry. Dave Roberts is going back to the closer committee. He's just going to go with the hot hand. He's not going to waste any more time, especially with down the stretch when you have to win this division. There's just no way you could blow these many games as a closer and getting paid $72 million. Just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you,
Yeah,
Snap, for bringing up. Conspiracy has gone down to AAA today. Genesis,
yeah.
thank you for tuning in. And Jamal saying, all snap, pun intended. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like. And if this is your first time joining our show, make sure to hit that subscribe. We really appreciate it. This is what our show is all about. We continue to grow this baseball channel. We're here every Sunday night. The playoffs is coming. We'll be here breaking down every hot series for the playoffs. We're ready, man. This is the best time of baseball. This is year 3 for Power Hour. We're growing the channel. We're over 1,000 subscribers, Carlos. Who would have ever thought? The channel continues to get all these hot baseball debates with fans. They just want to talk baseball, and we're here for it.
Definitely do it. And who would have thunk it? I just want to say it that way. Who would have thunk it? Right? 19. That's how much subscribers we have. And that's pretty cool from what a year ago when we were in the 3 digits. Now we're in the 4 digits. Hopefully we can get up to bigger digits than that. But yeah, you said it all, man. This is what the show is about. I do have more stuff to talk about. We can look at the video. I don't know if you guys saw this video of Buehler. They were discussing the ABS.
I think it's inaccurate. I think.
Hold on. It went ahead. It got ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and play that video. I'll pause it when I hear something, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Here we go.
What about it didn't work?
I think it's inaccurate. I think most of the stadiums, it's not even actually on the plate. I think it shifts certain directions in certain ballparks. I think the human element is a huge part of this game. I think starting pitchers that have pitched for a long time deserve certain parts of the plate.
So, do you agree with Buehler is saying here with the ABS system?
Let's just say all MLB fans do not agree with Walker. What the heck are you talking about, Walker? Now shut up and don't say nothing, or else you're not going to get signed with a team next year. I'm just saying, man, everybody is ready for this ABS system. I don't care what you got to say, your opinions as a pitcher. I know that, these umpires do get it wrong here and there, but this ABS system has proven that it's going to work. The players are even ready for it. The hitters, they want this for their at-bats. And it just questions. It's hard to realize that Walker Buehler, a guy that wouldn't want to strike and wouldn't want to challenge a call, would rather not have this ABS system if it's available.
Yeah, he had this issue at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you guys remember that game that he was talking to the umpire. Where the hell is that ball at? It hitting the strike zone. You need to check your eyes, or and they threw him out. Let's hear the rest of it, because I want to say, I want to hear the rest of it so I can say what I understand them in a way, because old school baseball, man. I'm old school baseball, so let's continue.
That other guys don't get. When I got to the big leagues, I didn't get every part of the zone that other guys did, and I think that's part of our game and should be. I think the punishment for challenging something that's clearly a strike is not big enough.
All right. So because he's been in the league a little bit more, then I'm getting ahead of myself, but he's talking about that because he's been in the league a little bit longer, he should get a little bit more of a wiggle room to get a strike if it's on the black. Because if it's outside that little box and we all see it on the TV, they don't get to see it on when they're pitching. But when we see it out of the strike zone and they call it a strike, they get those pitches, right? Now, when he was a rookie, he would have not got that pitch. He wouldn't get those pitches, right? And you have like the Paul Skeens coming up. You have all these other guys coming up, and they're throwing those pitches in the same spot that Buehler is, and they're counting them as strikes. I think that's what he's talking about. The ABS is going to change that because it's going to be able to control where those pitches are hitting and if they're strikes. But the ABS is overdue. I'm a fan that I was a little bit of questions, but I saw it in spring training, and it was pretty cool. And I wouldn't mind having it. They can challenge it. Hit the batter can hit their top. And what does a pitcher do if they need it to challenge? The same thing?
I think the same thing, yeah. If anybody in the comments can let us know, I do not remember anymore. You see, that's how much I'm ready for it. I mean, the umpires cannot continue to get it wrong, especially in these crucial moments. We need the right call. I don't care about the zones, man. I want a strike to be called a strike and a ball to be called a ball. And the game to be called as close as possible to 100%. We're stats guys. We love numbers. And we hate seeing those umpire audits and seeing how umpire call the game under 80% in the strike zone. It's just not the way to go. And I mean, everybody loves the human element about it. But I'm sorry, cameras have just taken over everywhere. Anywhere you go these days, they have a camera around you. People are recording everything these days. So I'm sorry, man. That human element's leaving everything we want. Everything you like to do these days is gone with the human element.
Well, the
Computers is
human
taking
element's
over.
still going to be there, though. I mean, because they're still going to be counting the strikes and balls. It's up to
Right.
the catcher, to the pitcher, and the hitter to challenge that. Because you're going to only get 2 challenges. You're going to be kind of iffy and be like, you know what? Should I call it? And what if it's not? Then you already missed a good opportunity. But if it's a critical moment in the game and it's they call it a strike and it's off the strike zone and you call for that, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure,
It's gonna
right?
change the game, especially like in the World Series. Imagine the World Series, full count, bases loaded. You know,
That
you
call
just need
better
a
be 100% right.
exactly, and you don't have one of those challenges, and it wasn't a strike. You're gonna be like, what the hell? That's gonna be a crazy one, dude. But
Yes. Wow.
I do kind of feel like that's gonna change the game a little bit. But like I said, it's still gonna have the human element because you're gonna get 2 challenges per team, and I'm
That's
pretty
funny. That scenario you just brought up. Imagine it does happen and the team does not have a challenge. Now the whole debate's going to be about is 2 challenges even enough? Now should we add more challenges to a game? It's going to add a whole nother debate, another discussion. But that's what's beautiful about this baseball game. I mean, there's always things changing, and Rob Manfred's done a little bit of everything to make this game faster, sell more, and it seems like to be working out as a business model.
Yeah. You know what's crazy though? Remember we were a few years ago we were talking about the time and how, it was going to affect the game and I was against it. Remember? I was saying I don't like it. But now it's like is this does it still exist? Is it still out there? I haven't seen anybody, get a strike for not stepping into the batter's box
Not at
lately.
all.
Like, yeah, it's been a while, right?
I haven't even seen that timer on the at all.
No, they don't
I
put
don't
it
even
on
pay
there
attention
anymore.
to it. Nope.
No,
No
it's
need.
that's the crazy thing. So I think with these changes, I think we're not going to even notice them. And when it does happen, we're like, hell yeah, they challenged it because it's not a strike,
Yep.
or it was a strike. You need to challenge it, or we're probably going to be like, damn it, we wasted our both challenges, and this is the one we needed. So you got to be
Definitely.
strategic when they use it. Baseball has always been like that. It's always been where you have to be strategic on what you're going to do, what pitches you're going to challenge, where you're going to put your fielders, who's going to hit in front of who. So it's just adding a lot more stress to the manager, I think, in those situations.
Definitely is. Well, I just want to let everybody know in the comments if you have any questions and questions you guys want to ask us, feel free. We're more than welcome. We got some free time here to answer some of your hot topics, and we're welcome to talk about it.
Yeah,
Q&A.
Let me go ahead and say this. I know I saw this right here. The Blues this year, it seems like there's a lot of rookie Blues out there this year, and I don't know if you noticed, but some of these calls have been, oh my god, horrific. We've been talking about the Blues all year long. I think this year's theme was Blues. Every time we talked about them, I think there's a show that we didn't talk about them, right?
I mean, every weekend it seemed like a crucial call was being mistakenly called by an ump and was affecting the impact of the game. And this is what it is. I mean, I think this is why the ABS system is here. The simple fact that there's calls that continuously continue to hurt the game. You see these players getting thrown out the games, managers coming out to argue these balls and strikes. And, unfortunately, it's hurting the team as well because once they get kicked out, now they lost one of their top hitters in the middle of the lineup. And now you have to go with a bench player. So, I mean, it's stuff that does happen. We got Jamal here. Question. We could talk about it right now. Yeah. What do you guys think of Trey Yesavach getting called up on Monday? Ooh, who's this guy, Carlos? Have you heard of him?
No, I haven't. Jamal, you're throwing some big names at us over here.
Let's just say, man, September has been an interesting month. It's obviously September call-ups. The amount of prospects and talent being called up these days, it's out of this ordinary right now. I feel like all these teams are desperate for arms, desperate for hitters. I look at this Angels team every day, Jamal. Let me just tell you, I see players I have never even seen play on a single day basis. I'm like, who is this guy now? Where did this guy come from? I did not even see him in spring training. Who is this guy? And it's just every single day I'm learning about new players. But yeah, let us know who this Trey guy is. I'm curious to learn. I'm ready to see him play tomorrow, and I will have more information for him next upcoming week for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking him up right now, trying to get his stuff, but it doesn't pull up. I think I'm looking at the wrong website, maybe. But yeah, just let us know, Jamal. We're not trying to say, oh, we don't know what's going on. It's just there's too many players that are coming up especially the September call-ups, that we're going to see a bunch of players that we've never heard before.
He's a Toronto Blue Jays top pitching prospect. And it looks like he was drafted number 20th on last year's MLB draft. So, yeah, man, that's too early if you ask me. But great. That kid must have something special. Looks like he's a top prospect coming up. And the Blue Jays desperately need some pitching. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have seen Jose Barrios lately. He hasn't looked pretty. Max Scherzer is a little bit over the bump these days. I mean, he's a little older. Kevin Gausman looked beautiful. That's the reason why I lost fantasy baseball. Thank you, Snap. Throwing a complete game. But other than that, Kevin Gausman is also very inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from that guy. Either he's hot or cold. And then, I mean, the Blue Jays just, I'm not sure. They need more arms. They need to rest up for this deeper playoff run.
It's a good spot to put in a rookie in case you need him to go pitch in the playoffs. Why? Because the Toronto Blue Jays are up on the Yankees 4 games right now. If you lose, it's okay. They probably can gain 1 game up and it'll be 3 games. But I think it's in a good situation that they can do this. I know Toronto's hyped. They're ready to go into the playoffs. They're waiting to win that division because they haven't done it in quite a while. So I think the Blue Jays are the real deal, dude. I think the real deal is just I still feel the Yankees are there playing a little bit better.
You don't trust Bo Bichette. You don't trust Vladdy Guerrero.
I don't.
George Springer, Dalton Varsho.
So look, they went and got George Springer. They went and got George Springer so they can go ahead and make the playoffs right away. They didn't do that. And, George Springer was with the Astros. He has that thing where he won a championship, and of course he's going to rub it off on these other players. But I didn't see that, dude. And up to this year, I finally got to see that, but I still don't trust the Blue Jays. I still feel like Vladimir, I'm not saying he's gonna suck in the playoffs. I'm just saying, like, is he gonna be able to perform and put the team on his back and be the leader that they got him for? Because they're paying a pretty good penny.
He is. He's getting paid that top dollar for that top first baseman. And he's an all-star caliber player, probably future Hall of Famer. But what is it going to take for Vladdy to take it to the next level? What is it going to take from him to take this Blue Jays team to that next round of playoffs? Because they're missing something from him. I'm not sure what it is, but they're missing that crucial, clutch moment from Vladdy on these clutch moments, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I'm talking about. I still feel like they need that extra oomph. Like the Orioles. We've been talking about the Orioles forever, and we've been saying how good they are. And then who's the veteran that they're going to go ahead and get so they can get these kids ready to go in the playoffs. They didn't do it. It didn't happen. At least the Blue Jays went and got Springer so he can show these other kids, like, look, I've won a World Series. I know how to get there. I know what it takes to win the World Series. So I think that's rubbing off a little bit, but you just said it. What's it going to take for Vladimir to take it to the next level and perform the way that everybody's expecting him to perform in the playoffs?
Right. I mean, he's obviously a great hitter, and he continues to get some timely home runs, but I need to see more runs being scored with runners in scoring position. I need to see him deliver some crucial hits in those big moments. And this Blue Jay team will be scary if this team hits, because Bo Bichette could get on base. Now with Vladdy, delivering that home run or that double that team needs, it's going to be a scary, scary team. Yeah, Jamal saying that, I'm not even sure I'm butchering this guy's name, Jesovich, has tossed 98 innings with 3.12 ERA, 90.97 whip, and has compiled 160 Ks with 41 walks. Man, that's a talented pitcher. And like Carlos was mentioning, it's a good spot to put him there against the Rays tomorrow. And I think it's an opportunity for him to play in a minor league ballpark, which he's probably already used to. So a good opportunity.
It's a showcase game for sure. It's a definitely showcase for him to, show what he got to pitch in the major league level, see if they can go ahead and use them in the playoffs. And that roster for the playoffs is not complete yet until the last game. You'll be surprised if they put him on the roster and be like, why did they do that? Even if he gets 3 innings in tomorrow and doesn't pitch all that great, they're still going to try to see and focus on to try to make him to the team. You'll wait and watch. You'll see. He'll probably be there.
Carlos, I want to talk about a team that we did not mention in the NL wildcard race. I just want to talk bad about this team. I'm really disappointed. I think this was a great opportunity for this weekend for the Cincinnati Reds to get some head ground this week. I feel like we didn't get a chance to talk about them. It's a team that was in the mix, was close earlier this week in the playoffs. They, like you said, they won a crucial series. They go to Sacramento this week, and they get swept by the A's. This is the best time opportunity to go beat an A's team that is struggling right now and take advantage and gain some ground on this wild card against the struggling Mets. Now you don't deliver. Now you fall back 2.5 games. I'm not sure how you could bounce back from that sweep this week. You lose to these young studs like Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Rookie of the Year. Shout out to this kid, the big Amish, special talent. I got to see him in Sacramento. This kid is a monster. He's 6'6", Carlos, over 250 pounds. Kid is humongous. Now, this Reds team was supposed to deliver. They just have not delivered. I mean, their pitchers are doing as much as they could. Hunter Green, Chase Burns, Nick Lodolo. But the offense can't seem to get it together. Matt McClain was supposed to be that promising guy. Gavin Lux hasn't looked good. And Ellie De La Cruz, a star player, has just not been that guy, man. I mean, this weekend alone, he went one hit on 11 at-bats, cannot deliver in those big moments for the Reds. And I just can't see how this Reds team is going to bounce back from this tough loss this weekend.
And that's the thing. Ellie De La Cruz needs to be the leader in that team. He needs to step up and have a better stat than 1 for 11. Like, he needs to get on base, no matter how he does it, because he's fast. I mean, I don't know. It reminds me of like when I don't know if you've seen Major League Baseball. Willie Mays Hayes.
Goes on.
He tries to hit home runs, and we all know if he puts the ball on the ground, he could get on base. So I kind of see that with Ellie De La Cruz. Every time I see an at bat from him, it's always a pop up, a fly out. Why are you hitting the ball in the air? You should be hitting the ball in the ground, because you have more of a chance or more percentage to get on first base and then steal second. You're super fast. Why not do it? And this is where I feel like the Reds are kind of like, and the teeter-totter, like, oh, I'm going to be good this week, and then I'm going to be bad the next, and you can't afford that. So, and dude, this is crazy, because this is one of the points I wanted to make with the Reds, because we do need to talk about the Reds. And the Reds, we talked about them at the beginning of the season, how we were thinking that they're going to do a lot more damage, and they're going to do more damage if they make trades, which they didn't. They went and get what is it? The guy from the Pittsburgh Pirates, the third baseman,
Brian Hayes.
Brian Hayes. Brian Hayes. I can't remember that name. I always say Willie Mays Hayes. That's why. Well, anyway, they didn't make that big trade, and this is the I guess what they're going through. I guess they don't have that big pop. Bat. So
I mean,
I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Paying 500 ball all year is kind of scary to make some deep trades when you're not sure what to expect from your team. Sure. Damn, I can't believe Jamal's throwing this stat. Ellie De La Cruz has not home run since July 31st. Now that's freaking crazy. I just can't believe how that's been already a month and a half, and the guy just can't seem to hit those bombs. He makes a huge impact in those on base, first, second, making steals, getting on base. But that pop has been MIA, and that's a big loss for this Reds team that desperately needs it. But I just wanted to throw that out there. This was one of the biggest disappointments for me this weekend, the Reds. I expected way more. I mean, obviously, they still have time. There's still plenty of time. But given the way they played this week, I just don't see how they have an answer and how they bounce back from that one. But now, I guess we could talk about the upcoming matches this week. We have some great upcoming matches this week, Monday, Tuesday. You want to break down some of the hottest games we got for baseball? I mean, we got the Padres versus Mets this week on TBS, and we got Michael King going against Clayton Holmes on Tuesday. I think that's a great series. That's
a good series. I think that one. You want to go ahead and see who's going to win that series?
You know what? The way the Padres and Mets have both been playing, it's a toss-up.
This is a toss-up. But the Mets did win with that home run today, so that could spark up something.
And they are at home, and I feel like the fans actually were supportive no matter what they've been going through. So I do see the Mets taking 2 out of 3 from here, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the Padres are not the better team, but I just feel like the Mets are definitely on a desperate mode right now, given the way they've been playing the past couple weeks. Yeah. Now, we got another one. We got the Rangers and Astros. This is a crucial matchup.
It is.
The Lone Star rivalry here. Now, Astros are playing at home, but do the Rangers and Bruce Bochy, can they finally overtake this team? They got Merrill Kelly going on Tuesday. I mean, I don't know if I could trust him.
I don't know about Merrill Kelly. Oh, my God.
You got Jack Leiter tomorrow.
I mean, look, the Texas Rangers have a good pitching ERA.
And Jacob DeGrom on Wednesday.
I mean, that one's a good one, right? But I've seen the ERA for the Texas Rangers, and it's always been, I think they're leading the MLB in ERA. Right. So they're doing really good stuff out there. It's just the hitting for me for the Rangers. It's like they show up one day and they don't show up 3 days for the next series. And it's like, What are we going to get off of this one? And then you have the Astros, Altuve's in the IL. What are we going to expect from the Astros? Are they going to get back to their winning ways with players that we don't know that are coming off from the minor leagues? That's how good the Astros have been, and that's how they've been carrying them, dude. Like we don't see the old-time baseball players out there like the Jordan Alvarez hitting home runs out there. Like Altuve's another one, So it's crazy, dude. I'm picking the Rangers on this one, even though they're not home. It's just because of the ERA. And I think it's going to be one of those 1-2 run games. Like I think it was the Astros and the Angels. I think there were low-scoring games on that series. Right?
Definitely. I mean, it's easy to go to the Rangers right now, just how hot they've been playing, how promising they looked against this Mets team over the weekend. And, the Astros are going downhill right now. I don't know what it is, but it's not looking pretty. Joe Espada, they're not looking great. And if you're this Astro fan right now, they've been really quiet. I'm just going to say that out there. They just not been really talking about their team. I don't think they have enough, given even the young talent with Cam Smith and players like that. I'm not sure if they're really the answer.
I just want to say, though, before you continue, I think they haven't said anything because they lost the series against the Yankees. And I know they don't have their top team, but still, I think they're hurt from it. And yeah, I would be too. They it seems like they owned them all year long, or the years previous to this one. Yeah, I know you talked about Nick Kurtz, right? Did you talk about the 493-foot home run he hit?
That was a monster shot. Everybody was in awe there. I mean, the way the A's players were looking, like, are you freaking serious? I just see Lawrence Buehler, where you're watching that video from second base. He turns around and he's like, what the hell did I just see? That ball was crushed. I've been in that stadium, and I once you're actually there, you get to see it's not that big of a stadium, but 493 feet. That's a monster shot. And that thing went over that green little monster that they have in the center field. That thing went over it clearly, way out. And I was like, man, I've been there. I could just imagine how far that ball went. That ball traveled.
When I saw it, I'm like, is this minor leagues or what is this? And I saw the ace. I'm like, oh damn, what the hell looked like a freaking minor league home run? But it's the ace. They have a minor league stadium.
Is he your rookie of the year for the American League? He's a clear top answer.
Dude.
32 home runs.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah, there's no question. He's going to be the rookie of the year.
There's no one up there.
I wanted to say another thing. I think he's hit the longest home run this year. 493 feet. That's the longest this year. Unless someone else hits it 500, we'll talk about that. But yeah, it was a good home run. I should have put the video, dude.
It was a monster shot. It's all good, man. I think a lot of people have seen it, but if you want to check that out, Nick Kurtz home run, it's a beauty. The hardest home run this year, like Carlos mentioned, and got to give props to this Ace team. They continue to fight, given the young talent they have. It's a promising future, if you ask me. I just feel like if they could get the pitching a little bit better, I think they'll be in the right direction. Luis Sereno wasn't probably the best pickup they had this offseason, but I think once they start developing their young pitchers and hopefully they could find some top talent, they'll be just fine, because offensively with Jacob Wilson and Nick Kurtz and Langoliers and Lawrence Buehler with the speed and the base pads, they're heading to the right direction.
True. All right. We talked a lot of baseball today. I know we haven't hit that hour, but Ernie, we can get off a little bit early today.
I know. Well, I'm going to go celebrate with some tacos. Just going to say, winning second place in fantasy baseball is still something special. Not easy to do. Thank you, Snap, and the chat out there for taking my first place. But, hey, this is a tough league, man. These guys are smart. They know their baseball. It's a keepers league. It's hard to play with these guys, man. They have all the top prospects already lined up, and they have them saved from a year before. And you're like, how the heck did this guy even know who he was? I had no idea. Stuff like that, man. When you play with these guys in fantasy, it's me, Carlos, Willpower, Snap in the chat. There's some top talented some top fantasy baseball players out there, man. I never thought I would even make it to the championship. So we're going to go celebrate with some tacos, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I want to say I'm like the Dodgers in fantasy. I make the playoffs, and that's it.
And you choke?
Choke. That's it. I can't do anything else. I just, I don't know. For some reason, I can't get over that 6th place hump. Well, maybe next year. We'll see.
Wildcard spot.
Yeah, wildcard spot. All right. Thank you guys for joining in. Ernie already said everything that I was going to say, which is good. I don't have to waste my voice on that. But from all of us here on Real Talk Baseball, I'm CarloBaseball. This is ErnieOrange, Real Talk Baseball, signing out.